Okay, let's look at Shiho Gatame. Shiho means upper four corners. Kami, K-A-M-I, upper. Shiho, four corners, and Gatame, to hold in place or to pin, immobilize. Okay, what we want to look here, and again, we're thinking the theory of the four corners, and we're talking shoulders and hips. So if I want to control from the upper part of his body, that's why Shiho Gatame, upper four corner hold. I'm going to come from this angle, but I want to control his shoulders and his hips. Okay, now I'm going to demo here, and I'll have Derek pick on poor Steve in a second here. But we'll show you the basic way to do Shiho Gatame, and then some variations of it, which are really cool and they work. Okay? All right, so I've thrown them, I've taken them down, I've turned them over, whatever it may be, I've got them here, and I've worked to the head. All right? So what's going to happen is, by the way, look at his starting position, you guys. See, he's feet flat on the mat with his knees up. Okay? Now, because he can bridge, he can turn, he's not just laying there like somebody knocked him cold, like with his feet flat. I do it wrong. Don't lay there like that. And it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on the mat when you're practicing. So at least have your feet up, because if you bridge and roll and turn, you want to be ready to quickly do it and get out of the way. So there you go. So he's in a good ready position to start. So that's the basis of what we do here on the mat. Okay, so I'm going to start up at the head. Now, some people start straight in a line, and that's okay. If that works for you, that's fine. I work to an angle slightly, that I'm just going to go over his shoulder here, okay? So the midline of my body is going to go, you can use his gi here as his lapel as a good guide in this particular case, okay? So I'm using that, and I'm just going to put my weight here, and I want my shoulder, my chest, pretty much weighted on the upper part of his chest. Okay, I'm doing CPR on the guy, but no, I'm not really. But here I am like this. And when I do this, look how low I am. My knees are very low, and I'm really close to him, because you're going to see I'll even get further up and control his head a little more here momentarily. But when I do this, I've thrown him down. I'm going to hook under both arms. Now, I like to hook under both arms because that helps me trap his upper part of his body, his shoulders tighter. Okay, and then I grab his, just lower your legs. Can everybody see how I grab his, at the hips, I grab his belt here, his obi, okay? And you can grab lower if that works, grab higher if that works, whatever. But generally is a good starting point, right at his hips right here. That's a good place to grab. So I hook under like I'm swimming and grab the belt, okay? All right, and I just lay flat here like this. And I just control him. I just ride him, and every time he moves, I move with him. Now, let's look at what I'm doing here. I'm creating a real wide base with my knees, and my hips are quite low. So the wider the base I can, the more stability I have, okay? The more friction I have on the mat, too, to hold them down, all right? Now, I will move. I'm just going to stay there and let him apply. I'm going to move as he moves. It's a very fluid base. So as I hook here and lock him tight, I just keep moving with him. I'm going to go over the other side and move over. But I stay low with him, nice and stay, and then, now, see how low I am? You also may want to jam your knee up under his head just to make it a little less likely for him to bridge out. I can isolate his head that way and control him better. Okay, so that's just another way to do it. So, here's the basic method. Right? You can also flatten out, sit through. We're going to cover those momentarily, but let's look at this basic method. Okay, so again, real quick, a good way I like to do a cross. If you want to try this, go ahead, that's fine. I like to have this here because it gives me a little more mobility to work, okay? And I'm across his shoulder like this. It seems that it's always been worked better for me to hold better, and I can always jam that knee under his head, yeah. So when I hook under, scoop under, grab his belt, okay? If he doesn't have a belt, if it's loose or off or something, you can grab his pants, but the belt's a handy, great handle, use it. And I stay low. Stay very low and move with him. You might be on your toes if you wish. You don't have to be because you're kind of low here. You just kind of ride it, okay? And that's it. You'd be amazed at how hard it is for him to get away. All right, so let's work on that. It's Shiho Gatame, the upper four corner hold, and we'll do some variations of it in a moment. All right, get the basics down. All right, let's go do that.
One of the things that you have to understand about pinning, everybody, is that it's not really like you're nailing him to one spot. You have to move with him. So as soon as I come under here, if he has a brain in his head, he's going to start trying to get to one side and turn over and get out. And in this case, he got that hand in front of my face, and then he caught his head to the other angle, and he turned over. So the way to stop him from doing that is easy. Keep your head down, so he can't do that. And as soon as I feel him move, I move with him to the other side, and re-pin. I just feel him out. As soon as he starts moving one way, I have to move to counteract that. And the whole time through, I'm keeping my upper body about the same. I'm just kind of shifting my hips and then maybe my head.
See, does everybody see how it's a fluid base he's got? And Derek feels Steve's movement of his body, and he shifts his body weight accordingly, one side or the other, to keep moving and staying on top of him, where you just, right. You're immobilizing him. It's not like a wrestling pin where you're pinning his shoulders on the mat.
Right. You know, I'm not really trying to like sit here and, you know, like keep him in a cradle in one spot for forever, but even a cradle, I mean, you could eventually get out of. So you have to assume that this guy knows what he's doing and read his movements. As he starts shifting one way, that it's like Steve said, it's radar. You know, your radar goes up, you know, he's going that way, he's shifting his balance, so I got to go over on that side and shut it down. And you just constantly shift, okay? And then the next step to that is either pin switching, or as he really stacks over on one side, you go for the submission. But none of that happens if you're not ready to stay mobile. If I stay here like this, and I just assume, I'm going to keep him down here, eventually he's out. Okay? So it's not about strength and it's not about weight, it's more about leverage. Right? You're getting a good grip, and then you're making sure that you move with him so that you can maintain that leverage over him to keep him down. Shift. Always shift.
Work on some variations. Now, we were working on the basic Kami Shiho Gatame, upper four corner hold. They also work on some ways, really basic stuff, but you know, basics win. You know, basics are the things that, you know, bread and butter stuff. Okay, so I've got him in a good Kami Shiho Gatame. All right, now if I just want to flatten out on the guy, I will. Just flatten out, knees wide, feet wide, and I'm digging my toes in the mat, and my hips are really low. I want my hips on the mat, okay? I don't want to be up here like this, because now he's got room to get away. I want to put all my weight on him, and at the same time, I will shift. When he moves, I'll move with him. You know, back and forth, I'll stay with him. You know, and see, it's a counterweight. This wide base provides a counterweight to him, so he can't get away. Now, if I find he's starting to get out or somehow like this, I may have to shift, and so I'll just shift back up in here, keep my hips, my hands on his belt here, and I'll shift up here to a sit-through, a front sit-through, and just like this, and stay with him. Okay? And I may have to shift back if necessary. I may have to shift to the other side, you know. And here's another variation. I can sit through, say he's really far over this way, I can just sit through this way, and this side under here. So I'm sitting through kind of like a Kesa Gatame situation. This is a very strong variation of Kami Shiho Gatame. So I can shift back, and there we go. So those are just a couple of ways, if my legs are wide, to shift back and forth. Okay? Can I have you demonstrate that? Okay, Steve. So let's take them in order here. The first one is, Derek is starting his basic Kami Shiho Gatame, and he just flattens out. Now, when he flattens out, his hips are quite low, with the feet digging into the mat, wide base, okay? And again, he will move. When Steve moves, Derek moves too. Keep his hips as low as he can, keep shifting, and keep the man down, okay? All right, now, Steve, don't fight too much, and we'll have Derek start again. Now, Derek's gonna sit through like this, just like that first way. See how I sit through like this? Keep a hold of the hips. It's really important Derek keeps those hips, okay, at the belt, all right? But you notice how he sat through, kind of like a reverse Kesa Gatame. Some people might call this an upright Kesa Gatame or a rear Kesa Gatame from here. It could be classified as such. And that's that way of doing it, okay? So that's another way to sit through. Okay, coming back to the basic. Now the one where I sat through under the head is just flatten out and shoot your leg into his head. Can you come on over here, Sam, and show us? So look, see this sit through here? This is a very strong variation of Kami Shiho Gatame as well. And you'll see this. Okay, you may not see it in heavyweights too much because of the girth of the body, honestly. But in the lighter weights, you may see this with some frequency. But you see how and he sat through, and it's just his leg is like a pillow, you know, a makura, a pillow, and he just rides him that way. And if he has to shift back, he will. You know, whatever he needs to do to keep the man down, hold him for time. Again, these are time holds. You're holding him for a period of time In like a regular judo match, it could be at 20 seconds, I think the IGF rules down, you get your ippon. Freestyle judo, you get 20 seconds, then the referee tells you to go for your submission. Same in Sambo, 20 seconds, then go for your submission. Used to be 30 seconds when Donnie and Sandy and I were competing, the 30-second hold down. Prior to that, before 1930 or so, you had to hold it down for a full minute. So, you know, now it's only 20 seconds, so consider yourself lucky, you know? But again, it's osai komi. Osai komi means to immobilize. Osai means to immobilize, and komi means to apply it. So it's an applying and immobilization or a pin, and was our technique. It's a time hold. You're holding them for time. It's not a pin fall like in wrestling where the you know touch the shoulders and the pin wins. It's not a pin in the Western wrestling sense. It's a hold for time. Okay. All right. So did you see those variations? Let's practice those. Then we'll come up with some other stuff and we'll work on some other cool stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead.